Hello and welcome to Watchdog Wargaming. Tonight I should be talking about role-playing games and in particular Twilight 2000. Now, for those who don't know of Twilight 2000, it came out back in 1984 as a role-playing game. It was set in the aftermath of World War III, and it was produced by GDW Games, which is Games Designer Workshop Games, under the premise that there was a war between NATO and the US and the Warsaw Pact and the Soviet Union. And so having fought a lengthy conventional war in Europe with limited nuclear war, the consequences that go with it, they came to a stalemate. And you, as the player, or play as a character, as a survivor of that war. You're stranded in Central Europe, and your main aim is to either get back to Britain, America, or just to survive. If you think of a cross between Red Dawn, those in UK might remember Threads. Not quite Mad Max, but it's just getting there. It's like downtown Senalaga strip on a Saturday and Friday night when the bars kick out. Lots of a bit of violence, bit of looting, pillaging, and everything else that goes with it. So I'm pretty sort of as a normal war gamer, I actually play a lot of World War III what if games, World War III gone hot and everything else. And I've got a lot of books on it that I've collected over the years. Being an infantry soldier in Germany in the 1980s, some of it was it's close to the bone slightly. So you can recall the old active edges, running around the exercise areas, only knowing quite well those exercise areas are probably going to be your crash out locations if war did kick off. I was of the SLR generation. Yes, best weapon ever. I know some people will go, oh, go on. But yeah, so back in August 2020, Free League, which is a Swedish publisher, announced that they were going to bring out Twilight 2000, updated, but under the same premise. Free League, some people may or may not know, did a very popular RPG game called Alien. About the Alien films and everything else, and that's what they brought out. So I signed up for the Kickstarter back in August 2020, and it arrived today. So I'm sort of very excited to actually see what's in it. I haven't opened it yet, and it's sort of by my feet, looking at me, looking all shiny. So let me just get rid of all this stuff, and then you and I will open it together. So let's put it the right way. So here we are, Twilight 2000 by Free League, role-playing in the World War III that never was. So I'll just read the blurb on the back of it. So it's Calais, we're still only in Calais. We need to get out of here fast. The artillery barrages are getting closer. The Soviets will be here soon. Sarge says we must move out after dark. I'm not sure that we'll last that long. A classic role-playing game returns. This new retro-apocalyptic edition of Twilight 2000 goes back to its roots of the franchise with the open-world role-playing and the devastation of World War III. Just like the original 1984 version, this new game is set in the year 2000, devastated by war, now in an alternate timeline where Soviet Union never collapsed. Twilight 2000 is a role-playing game about survival in mankind's most desperate hour, yet, in its bleak world, there is still hope. In the midst of utter destruction, you can start to build something new, rally people to your ranks, stake a claim and protect it, and maybe, if you live long enough, start turning the tide. And this box contains, and it's pretty heavy, a 152-page player's manual, including rules for character generation, skills, specialities, combat, base building, and travel. A 112-page referee's manual describing the world at war, including a 52 ready-to-play encounters and 4 complete scenario sites. A huge 164 by 158 millimeter double-sided full-color travel map, 15 engraved custom dice including ammo dice and hit locations dice, 16 modular battle maps designed to create an endless variety of battlefields, 108 cardboard tokens for fighters, vehicles, conditions and more, 4 battle maps for specific scenario sites, 52 encounter cards, 10 initiative cards, and 5 blank character sheets ready to be filled in. Hope you all got that. I'm just thinking as we're going along this, all these cardboard tokens I could probably replace with all my 20 and 15 mil figures that I've got. So yeah, and so we've got in here. That's it. 0 to 3 unhappy onions. So yeah, so it's for 2 to 6 players, ages 16 plus, and it's got 120 minutes. So that's yeah, sounds like a good night. Right, okay, so that's the box, and like I said, it's very, very heavy. So avoiding my fingers, and let's cut this plastic open and get the new smell of some game wafting through. Whoop. Ooh, okay. So let's see what we've got in the box. I'll just put it to one side as we go through it. I will try and get this camera to focus, so just bear with me if it does go out of focus. Ooh, one of those, I'll just put those. So these are the dice for the hit location and ammo counters that they mentioned. Again, nice weight to them as well. Oh, games catalogue of everything that they do. Like I said, Alien, Forbidden Lands, Tales of the Loop, don't know that one, and Twilight 2000, what we're talking about. Right, put that to one side. See what we've got in here. Open these up. Very good cardstock. As I said, it's not done on cheap card. And was it initiative cards? Oh, initiative cards. And the artwork on here is very, very good as well. Let's get on. What's that? Forest Fire. So these must be the encounter cards. So we've got Forest Fire, Pack of Wolves, Booby Trap Vehicles, Ground Zero. Oh, okay. Radioactive. Petrol Tank. Oh, Abandoned Gas Station with fuel. Hungry and Angry Mobs. Hunters, Marauders. Ooh, Murderous. Yes. Shoot on Sights, Purifier Power, For My Country, Dense Fog, Rabid Dogs, Viper's Nests. What You Got, Cash is King, Drop Your Weapons. Wow. Humans Best Friends, A Smell of Victory, Good Company, Join Us or Die, Carnage, Death from Above, Rain of Ash, Bear's Dens. Wow, this is quite a lot of different encounters on here. The Hammer of God, Kill Zone, Prisoners of War, and the Mad King. Okay, so a lot of it definitely sounds a bit Mad Max, but all good stuff. Now, so what we've got here. So what we've got here is, this looks like a, it's like what would you call it? When you're giving orders in a military, so you've got situation, ground, enemy forces, and this is basically like an operation order for what the actual mission was, for reasons why the NATO and the US forces were actually in the center of Europe, and it's called Operation Reset. And it actually says whereabouts it was set. All the forces, both NATO and Soviet, on there as well. The map locations. Again, so if you're ex-military, you probably recognize the actual format this is in. Command and control, service support, mission, execution. Gentlemen, orders, gentlemen. The other thing it hasn't got, you're not setting your watch at the end of it. Or are you? Okay. And then you've got another one. So this is this the Oh, okay, so it's actually 2 missions. So you've got one. This is the 2nd Marine Regiment, 2nd Marine Division, and this is from HQ, 3rd Corps, US Corps, to headquarters, 5th Infantry Division. Flash signals, and it did mention about the actual cardstock maps as well. So this is all gridded as well from use of. So this is like I'm just trying to sort this light out. So this looks like a small town that's got grids on it. Hang on, let's see if I can sort this light out for you. It's a lot of yeah. So it's all gridded as town, streets, and then on the back that's probably a smaller village. In fact, this looks like a sort of like the town hall, municipal buildings. These are what you can use for your various different missions and all your counters as you come across as well. So again, this looks like that's sort of like prison barracks, long walls around it. Again, and so the town with not much damage to it, but it's got a lot of, looks like artillery pieces in the middle. And wow, they weren't joking about the map either. So this is the map of the actual area that you are fighting in. So Krakow, that's Poland. Yeah, so this is all set around Poland. So this is where your starting place is. It's got all the villages around there. And then just have a look on the backside. And oh, that Stockholm. Okay, so there's you've got starting places in Poland and also Stockholm as well. And now it comes to the actual character sheets. A lot of these you'll probably recognise from normal RPGs, the fantasy ones as well. So you've got if I cast my mind back as well, you would roll for what branch you're in, your military rank, if you've got a buddy, your name, appearance, your moral code, your big dream. You know, sort of what you did before you joined the army. Were you a police officer? Were you still at school? Were you drafted? You know, it all builds up that character, and it also gives you what your starting gear is as well. I think in my last game, I ended up, because fuel was so rare and hard to get hold of rare, even though we had I think it was a Humvee, we couldn't use it because we had no fuel for it. And I ended up, if I remember rightly, I ended up buying a mule. And that was a good bit of kit until someone shot it, which was a bit disappointing. But again, that's the sort of thing you can do in this game. Well, we're back onto gridded cards again. So these are gridded cards of crossroads, bends, wooded areas, coastline or lakeline, rivers. Again, this gives you so much scope for different things. It's very, very good. So you can villages and towns. And this is the cardstock. So the cardstock you've got sort of, again, it's different types of these look like US figures. So you've got 84s. In fact, that looks like Heckler Koch. So some are M16s, M60. Civilians, sawn-off shotgun, club, hunting rifle, and then you've got your Warsaw Pact ones, so your AK series, RPG grenade launchers. Yeah, it's a right mix match. You know, people wearing helmets, people wearing sort of like softy caps, and then you've got your different tank vehicles. So Hummer, Abrahams, and 113. Remember, this is set in sort of you won't have the you know, all the modern vehicles. In fact, you've got an S tank down there as well. Some of these are just like normal Jeeps, Land Rovers. And then so all your different markers on there as well. Oh, and it's actually on the other side as well. You've got so on one side you've got them standing, and then the other side you've got them in the prone as well, and then the actual vehicles on one side they're whole, on the other side they're actually destroyed. So that's very, very good. I like that. And then, oh, the referee's manual. Let's have a quick flick through that just to see what the lots of write-ups and blurbs on it, and history, and sort of to put you in the picture. Operation Reset explains about it. Order of battle. Again, this looks like it's been sort of edited by someone who's actually knows how the military works, and sort of always, certainly had military experience, because a lot of actually things on here is that I recognised when I was in the army. So a lot of the wording, terminology, acronyms. Oh, okay. Here we have your typical NPCs that you come across: refugees, civilians, hunters, marauders, a US soldier, US officer, US special forces, US intelligence, Soviet soldier, Soviet officer. Just repeats it. A Swedish officer. I do believe that they will expand it later on, so there'll be sort of other NATO countries on there as well, because I think my last time my character was I think he was definitely British Welsh, and it explains about all the different the encounters that you have as well on here as well, and explains what the types of factions they are and sort of counters that you would have. Scenario sites, and goes on about the maps, events. The artwork in here is very, very good. So on about the weapons as well. Oh, solo rules, amazing. So you don't actually have to do it as a group. You can actually solo it as well. So they've got the solo rules. That's good, because it says a lot of people, you're not always going to be in a group, and oh. And then you've got the actual player's manual again. Look, it's a really, really thick, heavy book. I know it's a sort of softback, but it's very good. Player's manual. So let's have a look what's in here as well. So yeah, you're on your own. Explains what you do, game setting, framework, starting the game, tools of the game, what is a role-playing game, building your character, your life path, developing your character, skills and specialities, skills, combat damage, weapons and gear, trading. Oh, brilliant! You can trade. These are the sort of games where if you can't, it's like going back to what I said about fuel. If you couldn't get fuel, you could always make your own. I think we were slowly building up enough parts to make a still, but we suddenly realised you'd have to be a major farmer to collect all the ingredients to actually put into the still to make fuel. We just gave it up as a bad job. Yep. So you're on your own now. Player characters. The value of ammunition. You just can't go blatting off all your rounds. Yeah. So it's slightly different type characters as well. These are the sort of things that you can have a blast with, sort of literally. Everything like on here is sort of bartering, persuasion. Everything doesn't have to be done at the end of a bullet. Rounds and initiative. Yeah, it's and they're explaining about the sort of lines of sight. Smoke launchers, attacks on vehicles, and here we go, weapons, vehicles, and gear. One thing I do like is if you're allowed to use antique weapons, because I said it's melee weapons down to the old bottle, knife, axe, bayonet, machete, a bat with a couple of nails through it, and then different types of AKs. Let's see if the NATO weapons are actually on here, because then it's okay. Let's have a look. Oh, okay, US military weapons. So it's M16s, M4, M9s, M21s, M79s. So there is sort of books, I presume, coming out, but it was okay because the previous one for 1984, they did NATO weapons. They did Twilight 2000 guide to sort of like post-apocalyptic UK as well. That was great. You could be a pirate and go, nick a boat and go up and down the river, being a pirate on it as well. That was all. So you can actually run this as a serious RPG, or you can have a bit of a giggle with it. So yeah, so you've got Bradley's M2s, M113s. You've got the M151. That's the Mutt, wasn't it? Yeah, UAZ. Oh, it's Swedish stuff. BV206. Yeah, and the S tank. Yeah, so like I said, this was done by a Swedish publisher, so that's probably why it's got mentions about the Swedish military vehicles in it as well. But Land Rover, yep. So they have got the stats for Land Rover as well. So happy bunny. Oh, and so other military vehicles. So they've got Land Rovers, AMXs, the Weasel for the Fuchs, Saracens, Marder, Warrior, Challenger 1, Leclerc, Leopard 2. And then sort of about the radios, protective gear, NBC kit, building a base. It's very much like the sort of like computer games. Was it DayZ, where you can go off and build, build a base and protect it from people who are trying to nick all your stuff? It's very similar to that. So there we are. It's out there now. It's if you Google Free League Twilight 2000, you will come up with it. I'm not sure how much it is, but it's to say it's well worth it. If you're interested in World War III, I would strongly suggest having a look at it at least, and it'll put another sort of actually moving figures on the floor. You do a RPG roleplay incidents. So there we are. So that is my review of this game. Let's just try and find the box. Bear me a second. So there we are. It's Twilight 2000 by Free League, role-playing in the World War III that never was. So I'll be sitting down later on with a cup of tea and a chocolate hobnob, the SAS of biscuits, and we'll be going through. I'll be going through the player's guide on that. So hopefully I can convince my son, who's heavily into my younger son, that is, who's into fantasy RPGing, to see if him and his mates would have a go at this. So hopefully we might even record some of that. So thanks for joining me. You take care, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye for now.